$200. That's what it costs to replace a knock sensor. $10,000. That's what it costs to rebuild the engine you destroyed by ignoring it. By the end of this video, you'll know the 7 warning signs that separate drivers who catch it early from the ones shopping for a new motor. Your knock sensor is a small piezoelectric device bolted to your engine block, cylinder head, or intake manifold valley, and its only job is to listen for the structure-borne vibrations of abnormal combustion. It converts those vibrations into an AC voltage signal, sends that signal to your ECU, and the moment knock gets detected, the computer retards ignition timing to save the engine from tearing itself apart. Without it working correctly, your engine is flying blind. Andre Simon of High Performance Academy calls detonation the #1 killer of performance engines, comparing it to a stick of dynamite exploding inside the cylinder. Every modern gasoline vehicle has one of these sensors, because OBD-II became mandatory in the United States in 1996, and that mandate standardized the diagnostic trouble codes P0325 through P0334 across every single manufacturer. Silverado, Accord, BMW, it doesn't matter. The symptoms are identical. Pay close attention to sign number 7, because that's the one mechanics check first, and it's the silent killer that turns a $300 sensor into a $10,000 engine rebuild before the driver ever suspects anything is wrong. Inside every modern gasoline engine sits a knock sensor, a piezoelectric crystal bolted tight to the block or head, tuned to feel the exact shockwave Jerry Renshaw describes as a hammer blow from detonation. When abnormal combustion rattles the metal, that crystal flexes and fires off a voltage spike straight to your ECU. The computer doesn't waste a second. It instantly retards ignition timing, pulling back spark advance to keep cylinder pressures from going nuclear. Since 1996, federal law put this watchdog in every car sold in the US, and the first sign of trouble is always the same: a diagnostic code in the P0325 to P0334 range. Pulling those codes with a scanner takes less than a minute, but ignore them and you're gambling with every mile. As ASE Master Technician Mia Bivacqua warns, the smallest sensor on your engine can trigger the biggest bill in your entire repair history if you let it fail unnoticed. The first sign is the check engine light, plain and simple. If you see a code between P0325 and P0334, your car's computer is already warning you the knock sensor is not doing its job. Ignore it, and you are betting the whole engine on a part that costs less than a tank of gas. Next comes the sound, a sharp, metallic pinging under acceleration. That is not harmless noise, it is detonation, the same force Andre Simon calls dynamite in the cylinder. Each ping is a pressure spike that can melt pistons and crack rings. Then comes the power drop. The ECU pulls timing to keep things from blowing up, and suddenly the engine feels flat, sluggish, robbed of its strength. Catch it here, and you are still in the cheap fix zone. A sudden drop in fuel economy is more than just a hit to your wallet. It is a warning that your engine is not running as designed. When the knock sensor fails, the engine control unit cannot fine-tune ignition timing. Instead, it defaults to a conservative map, adds extra fuel, and retards the spark to play it safe. That means you will see your miles per gallon slip, sometimes by 5 to 7%, according to Innova's repair guides. What looks like a minor annoyance at the pump is actually a red flag. The engine is burning more gas just to avoid catastrophic knock. Ignore this sign, and you are not just wasting money, you are letting a cheap sensor problem snowball into a repair bill that can run thousands of dollars. Mechanics know to treat a sudden miles per gallon dip as a signal to check for trouble codes like P0325, not just blame it on bad gas or cold weather. Hesitation or sudden surging is where a bad knock sensor starts fooling even seasoned mechanics. The engine stumbles or lurches when you hit the gas, and it is easy to chase the wrong culprit: fuel pumps, coils, or even transmission issues. But when the sensor signal flickers, the ECU cannot decide if it should pull timing or let it ride, so the car feels unpredictable. Now comes the sixth sign: failed emissions or a raw, fuel-rich exhaust smell. That is not just a nuisance. Unburned fuel pouring through the exhaust will torch your catalytic converter, turning a $300 sensor swap into a $1,000 to $2,500 converter job. Let it go and you are staring at head gasket repairs in the $1,500 to $3,000 range, or worst case, a bottom-end rebuild that can top $10,000. Ignoring these warning signs is not just risky, it is the fastest way to turn a cheap fix into a financial disaster. Unexplained overheating is the silent killer that seasoned mechanics never overlook. When a knock sensor fails, the engine control unit loses its only warning system against detonation, and the engine keeps running with advanced timing, right into the danger zone. Aluminum pistons start to melt at 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit, but detonation can push exhaust gas temperatures to 1,600 degrees Fahrenheit. That is enough heat to destroy pistons, rings, and head gaskets from the inside out, long before you hear a single ping. The temperature gauge creeps upward. Drivers blame the thermostat or coolant, but the real cause stays hidden until it's too late. Delphi Technologies warns, never keep driving with a failed knock sensor. Trained techs know to check for a pattern. Random misfire codes like P0300 plus catalyst efficiency codes P0420 and P0430, because that fingerprint means the engine control unit is blind and the engine is cooking itself alive. Miss this sign, and a sensor that costs less than $400 to replace can turn into a $10,000 engine meltdown. General Motors Technical Service Bulletin 0206-04023A warns Silverado, Tahoe, Suburban, Yukon, and Escalade owners about water-damaged sensors. Nissan Xterra, Frontier, and Pathfinder vehicles face wiring failures. Toyota's 2 and the 4Runner can lead to dealer quotes in the thousands of dollars. BMW halted 21 models in June 2023 for sensor faults. Typical repair costs range from $206 to $288 for the Silverado, from $230 to $375 for the Accord, and from $612 to $915 for the Audi A4. Right now, codes P0325 to P0334 are not just numbers. Ignore them, and you risk catastrophic damage. Mechanics know this. Swap a sensor or buy an engine. Your wallet decides. Drop your questions below.